Can't wait for all the beeps I have to do in this episode. It's gonna be great.
Shut the Dickie.
Fly me back in time so we can play among the stars. Come and see what war was like before the coming of Sigmar. In other words, here they are. In other words, that old world charm.
Hello, our lovely, lovely listeners, and welcome to episode 27 of That Old World Charm. Baby, we're back. I am back from gallivanting all over the freaking world. August was an absolute wash for me, and I apologize for being absent from the show for a bit of time. But, Petey baby,
are you technically even an Australian citizen anymore, Adam, at this point?
I have no idea. I'm a citizen of the world, accepted or rejected by many. I've got the death sentence on 12 systems, that kind of stuff. I hang out in Mos Eisley. But we're here to give you guys one of our first new kind of format episodes. Apologies. Introducing my co-hosts with the co-mosts.
Oh.
It is the Skink Priest from the East. Dickie, how you doing, mate?
It's nice being first. Thank you, Adam. It's nice to be
no
here.
Problems. You are on the east side of Canada, technically.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah,
I'm working,
you
it's
are.
a work in progress.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know I was rated on which side I was on. I don't know.
Hey,
Well,
look, the
compare
words went
yourself to
together.
where Adam is, and you're east. Everyone is
Well-
east of Adam, pretty much.
Yeah, he's
Look,
upside down.
I don't think any further than the words go together good. And then I try and see if they make sense after. That's how I've lived most of my life.
Fair enough.
And Danny, the Sweetmeats McDevitt, has joined us also. Hello, brother.
Hey, Adam.
Oh, hi.
But
Anyway, there was a rather large old world tournament that took place at the Nova Open over in Washington, D.C., where I was streaming for Games Workshop. I was doing their 40K coverage, as is one of my many hats. And I got a chance to walk around that event twice. I did not get a chance to have a good chat with the TOs and stuff like I planned. They were busy. Time was scarce. But I did chat to a few people after the event also and just seeing how people were feeling about things. And I've decided to do a full post-event breakdown for that event. So we're going to be doing a brand new style of show for you, one that we may become a norm that we filter in through our regular coverage. This one's going to be a full event in review. And this is an event in review from people who weren't playing there. So this is more statistical based and analytical than our personal experience of running through like battle report stuff. So we will do those as well when we are playing in events, but when we don't get the chance to, I know Peter would both love and loathe that he's not on this episode.
Yeah.
Loathe in the fact that he didn't do better stats than the ones I'm doing for you, and love that he doesn't have to sit through the schmozzle I'm about to take you through. Danny, I've talked for more than enough. You did the Warriors of Chaos Arcane Journal review last week. How did that go down? And what are your off the cuff? Because I haven't got a chance to listen to it. What are your hot takes on that book?
It's excellent. Actually, I think we gave it like either a 7 or an 8 out of 10 based on our normal ranking system.
Nice.
The cliff notes here, of course, are that the new Armies of Renown play in a really interesting way, but it still plays like kind of like dwarves, just kind of like hyper focus you on one way of playing. The warriors list kind of like the cavalry list is just, oh, here's a bunch of good stuff, and if you want to abide by these restrictions, your good stuff gets a little bit better, but the restrictions are harsh. And then the Marauder list is like kind of a new way to play warriors that's really ambush focused, and it's really it feels more like kind of like Beastmen, I guess.
That's the comparison I was going to say. Like it's halfway to being Beastmen, or halfway to being between Beastmen and Tomb Kings. Like you don't get the arisen from the
and they
sand
can take
stuff.
Beastmen like mercs too, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Danny, have you had a chance to get a hot take on the new Wox book?
On the new,
Oh, sorry, Dickie. I said
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Oh,
like I thought I
my
just
bad,
did.
My bad. Apparently 2 Ds is one too many for my brain.
I don't know, Adam. I've seen you take quite a few D's at this point.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
I left it open for you. Thank
Hold
you.
open. Got it.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for holding the door.
But yeah, Dickie, you got any hot takes on the book?
Well, so I was lucky enough to listen while I was editing. I think Warrior Chaos, they appeal to me in a I want to smash people's faces. But I don't know. It's almost like they just go too hard. I think for me, I wanted to feel like work. So I think Bretonians are still there for me, and I really enjoy them. So I'm gonna kick it with the lights, the golden boys, for now.
I like that. You are correct
Yeah.
in that Warriors of Chaos. I wouldn't say like necessarily very one-dimensional, but in so many matchups on the table, you can only do the thing you're good at, and which is good. That's what you want. But I was hoping for a little bit more other modes of play to open up for in the Arcane Journal. But still, it's a ridiculously good Arcane Journal. I think it's like the second best Arcane Journal we've had. I think Orcs and Goblins are still like a tad better because I think it opens up more of their faction for playability.
Yeah.
Is that a take?
I both thought that the Orcs and Goblins one was probably the best one, I think.
Yeah, I still think it's the gold standard. But I think I genuinely think the Warriors Chaos one might be the second best we have right now. But anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this show. So Nova Open had a 57-player 5-round GT, 2,500 points. So this is not a 2,000 point event. This is a 2,500. It did have a bit of a comp, as in like they put in some rules that you must abide by. And of course, playing 2,500 points, if you didn't put in any rules, shit could get real silly. Real silly. And we will have a discussion of whether we think they went too far, not far enough, etc. when we go down these. But I'm going to give you a quick rundown. So 0 special characters. So first off the cup, bada bing, bada boom, 0 special characters can be taken. There is a rule of 3 in case for all models, unless you are a rare choice. If you're a rare choice, there's a rule of 2 for your rare choice. No triple stank, not you, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Max of 2 characters can be joined to any unit. So as in like this is a thing to try and prevent things like Death Stars or the uber-sized Peg Knights with 3 characters in it, whatnot. Only a single level 3 caster or better. Only single level 3, level 4, which means you're never going to take a level 3. If you're taking a level 3, you're taking a level 4. Only 40% of your points can be spent on characters, which they delineate as 1,000 points. A max of 10 model frontage in any unit, including skirmishers. So you can only go 10 wide, so that they're stopping Linehammer. 0 allies of any description. This is an interesting one. Wounds capped at 7 for mounted characters. So you can take a character that has less than 7 wounds, but if you ever take a character on a mount that has 9 wounds, they will be playing at this event as if they had 7. So my Stonehorde Tyrant will have 7 wounds at this event, regardless of how many they say they have. And then characters on chariots/monsters will take up a rule of 3 slot in your army list. So there's no taking, once again, ogres, no taking a Stonehorn Tyrant and then 2 other Stonehorns, because that would be the rule of 2 on rare choices. And that would mean that you can't take that. And then 50% points awarded, 50% unit killed and characters, which I think should be in every packet all the time forever.
Yeah.
So if you half kill something, you get half the points. I like that a lot. Danny, off the cuff, how do you feel about these comp restrictions? Because they are pretty extensive.
Yeah. So I know when I first read these, I was pretty down on them. But as I think I played some more games, the only one that really sticks in my craw is the wounds capped at 7. Other than that, okay. I pretty much like these changes. I pretty much like this. And I'm interested to see if 2,500 points changes how things go. I don't know. Does it make different armies better? Probably.
I should have done this already, but for this episode, we have the comp to talk about. So the packet they were playing in, we have the full faction breakdown of all 57 players, as in what they brought, what factions were represented. We have the faction podium in representation, and then we have the actual podium, so the top 5, what actually won, and then we have the top 5 lists. So those 5 lists have been pulled out in their entirety, and we'll be breaking them down and reviewing them. But Dickie, what do you make of these comp, and do you echo Danny's sentiment?
I gotta say, everything is in line with what I would probably do in an event, except the wounds cap on mounted characters. I guess it's just to stop the dragon hammer kind of aspect. What do you guys think?
I think it's a concession to the fact they're playing 2,500. If you're playing 2,500 points with a 40% cap, so can you get like 3 dragons at 1,000 points? Can you do that?
I think it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard. And none of them are going to be premium dragons, all right? There's going to be like one okay one and two. Just here's a dude with heavy armor and a shield on a dragon.
So like, yeah. So the thing is, 1,000 points is the same as a 2,000 point army. So like
Correct.
for 50% characters, so you could build this whatever list you can build at 2K. You can only build at 2,500 for 40% characters. Like it's going to be the same. Unless you can take a dragon outside of a character slot, which there are like one of.
I don't have a problem with any of these comp.
No,
with any
yeah,
of this.
they're fine.
I'm really happy for people to experiment, especially in early days. And I'd rather there be more and we pair it back to playability than there be not enough and people have bad experiences, which I'm assuming this is what this was a concession of. It was also stated in their bit of their blurb on their BCP page that this was compiled over suggestions from their community, from their player base. So this is obviously giving their consumers of their ticket purchases what they want. So it all makes sense to me. Sorry, go Danny.
No, I was going to say I think that's a good point, Adam. I think it's important to like. I mean, I know that this is a tournament on a large scale, but at the same time, I've been kind of bipolar on this because I know that I was really down on this before, but like this is a 57 player event. That's awesome. Like, let's first of all celebrate that. And that's a huge accomplishment, I think, for the old world, right? Like, I don't think there's been a bigger tournament than this, right?
I don't believe so. We do have some coming up though, which is going to be super exciting.
I'm very excited about that.
The single level 3 or 4 caster. How do you guys feel about that? Are we finding casters running away with the games? I mean, obviously, Mortis Engine casters, and I suppose in this case it wouldn't be the case, but the Tomb King Skeleton Dragon casters can be quite problematic.
I don't like. I would like it to be limited to 2 instead of just 1, but I'm fine with just 1. It just kind of changes what's good. The real problematic thing, I think, with level 4 casters is less so their ability to cast spells and more their ability to push through like these vortexes that like
shut down the game,
do a bunch of damage. If I were going to write this, I would write a rule that says like no more than 1 instance of each vortex could be on the table at the same time.
Yep. And then you almost wouldn't need this, right?
Yeah.
I agree. I would also have said you could take multiple level 4s, but you can't. No 2 level 3 plus casters can take the same spell law.
Oh, that's a good one, Adam. I do.
Yeah, that was one I came up with. As in, like, you can take as many level 4s as you want, but they all got to be different spell laws.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually think that's cool as well, because then people just play with a huge toolbox instead of just overwhelming people with the same thing over and over and over again, which is a little yucky. Dickie, we're going to move over into the meta breakdown of this event. So all 57 players, I looked at every single one of their factions and I listed them down for your auditory pleasure. And Dickie's going to tell us what was there.
In alphabetical order, nonetheless.
Oh, wow. We have that power? That's astonishing.
Okay, so we had 3 Beastmen, 3 Bretonians. Why are we deleting? Oh,
what are you doing?
Deleting them. Why are we doing this?
In the alphabetical order, you guys.
You son of a gun.
Danny's messing with this. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 Beastmen, 3 Bretonians, 1 Chaos Dwarf, 3 Demons, 6 Dwarves. A lot of dwarves. Too many dwarves. 5 Empire, 4 High Elves, 1 Lizardman. Peter would be happy.
That
5
brave son of a bitch.
Yeah, that brave son of a gun. 5 Ogres, clearly listening to this show and listening to Adam.
Yeah,
we got
clearly.
1 Orc, 2 Skaven, 5 Tomb King, 6 Vampire Counts, 10, count it, 10 Warriors of Chaos, thus leaving out Dark Elves and Wood Elves.
So one of those things is not like the other. So I am not surprised to not see Dark Elves, because a lot of the people who play elves play pretty much all the elves because they're weird. But if you play multiple elves,
cool, Adam.
Really. If you play multiple elves at this point in the game, why would you play Dark Elves? it seems very strange to me not to have Wood Elves at this event, not represented.
Yeah,
At nearly 60 players, not a single Wood Elf.
sure. Yeah. Why not?
I think Wood Elves are like probably the best elf faction too. So for them not
Yeah,
to
same.
be here is so weird.
Straight up, I think Wood Elves are the best elf faction. In fact, I think they're like possibly top 3, if not top 5 factions in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
the
just,
weird
it's just
one
nuts.
to me, Adam, is the one orc player. Why? There's only
That's
one
the other
person
one.
playing orcs.
Correct. How are there 2 effing Skavens and only 1 orc?
I know.
That is weird.
Yeah. I mean, right now, this early stages of the meta, most people, I assume, are playing with armies that they played in 9th Age, they played in 8th edition, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if people are just playing with what they want to play because this is the first big GT they're able to go to and they're hardcore XYZs, but still only 1 orc player is really astounding to me. I don't know about you guys and your metas, whatever, but orcs are always all over every meta that I've experienced in any fantasy game. There's always a plethora of orc players.
Yep.
And to have 60 players, give or take, and only a single orc, that one's a bit stunning. What the hell is with the 10 Warriors of Chaos? Why is it like what is 10%? What is 10 out of 57 percentile wise?
A lot.
That's right, Dickie. Sorry.
It's less than 20%, but more than 15.
I mean, if that is a trend in this area, like 100%, that's a figure worth skewing into. Like, just being like, well, I just want to have an army that absolutely rolls Chaos Knights and so Knights of Chaos. And they're like, yeah, cool, all right, we're cool, we're good to go. 16% of the time, or whatever.
You should like always have a plan to deal with an army that's more aggressive than you are.
Yeah, I think that's.
And this is like a good example of, and also have some ability to punch through armor because armor is real good in this edition.
Yeah, 100%. And Cav there's a plethora of Cav. I mean, so we got 3 Bretonnians, we got a 5 Empire, we have High Elves who may very well have Cav, we have Ogres who 100% will have Cav, we have Vampire Counts who will have heavy Cav, and Warriors of Chaos will have heavy Cav. That's like almost 2/3 of that meta will be taking at least 1 unit of super heavy Cav. And you want to have a solution. Actually, let me just add those up. 3, 8, 12, 17. This is quality content. 17, 23, 33. 33 out of 57 are likely to have at least 1 unit of heavy cav.
More than half.
Wow.
That is more than half. Astonishing. Any other outliers or aberrations you see in this faction breakdown, boys?
Vampire counts continue to be super strong in the meta breakdown, and that just tells me that maybe I should take a look at playing them for my dark faction, for my bad guy faction.
Are they bad guys? I mean, yes, obviously, but really,
they're vampires and zombies, Adam. Yeah, no, they're bad guys.
So the faction podium for this event was, of course, Warriors of Chaos in 10, and then we go over the Mark of Chaos cliffs to Dwarves and Vampires with 6 in representation, and then Tomb Kings and Empire in bronze position with 5. And then it gets pretty dispersed from there. But that's a good amount of Dwarves as well. And that's also a very hefty amount of Tomb Kings and Empire. Empire's a little surprising to me. Empire is considered to be quite an awkward faction at the moment. And even with my experience playing them now in a couple of games and really deep diving into their codex, I can see how it could be a big headache, especially for a new player trying to play Empire into, Bretonnian, who a lot of the time just feel like a better version than you, into High Elves, which can just feel like a better version than you, into like Vampire counts, you don't have the weight of attacks to go through, into Warriors of Chaos, who are a better version than you without cannons. And so it's just a very interesting thing to see a good amount of Empire there, which I do like. I like that people still try it with Empire.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I really want to see that Arcane Journal. Like, I think that's going to be really big for that army.
Oof. Yeah, baby. All right, let us transition over to the podium for the event. Danny, what was the top 5?
So the top 5 armies in order from 5th to 1st were Vampire Counts, Warriors of Chaos, Bretonnia, Tomb Kings, and then Bretonnia again, taking the top spot.
So just off the cuff, obviously there's 2 out of 5 is Bretonnia. And we have already conjectured that we think of the comp limitations, Bretonnia gets the least amount of limitations. They don't have a Dragon Lord that they're missing out on. The Hippogriff and the Griffin characters aren't missing out on a bunch of wounds from being capped at 7. They're not too worried about not having, massive characters here, there, and everywhere, or the Lionhammer stuff. But yeah, do you guys see why Bretonnians, or is there any other reasons you guys think Bretonnians may be getting away with a bit more in this than some other factions?
They're not really penalized by the wound cap, right? Because I think the Hippogriff is max 7 wounds anyway.
Yeah.
So there's that. The magic thing is like not a big deal to them because that's not how that army works.
Mm-hmm.
The multiple characters in a unit is potentially hard for them a little bit, I suppose, but you can just put 2 characters in one Peg Knight unit, and that's like plenty.
Bonkers.
Bonkers. And also, like, if you just charge a unit and kill half of it, even if you lose the rest of your knights, like, you're still going to get half points for a unit. So it might just be even worth it to like be throwing units away to like just try and get points for that stuff, especially if it's like cheap little blocks of like Knights of the Realm and that kind of stuff. You can get potentially even more points than they're worth.
How did the 50? So there's a little bit of tangent, boys, but can you remember in like 8th edition and 9th age how the 50% worked for like units that regen models and characters that get back wounds? Is it 50% left at the end of the game, or is it at any point you bring them below the 50%, you cash in? And
I'm pretty sure it was always at the end of the game.
I was pretty sure it was as well, but I just need to double check. Unless you guys know anything new about people doing it differently in the old world.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So, I mean, if you can line up one big hit on a unit of Blood Knights, you do it. Last turn, turn 6, baby. Get those points, get out of there. That's pretty much all I was thinking in my head. But of the other ones,
on the army's so good, right? As like points,
it really does, man. It really does. What can we say for Tomb Kings, Warriors of Chaos, and Vampire counts in this packet? Is anything in particular going from there, or are they just freaking strong ass factions in the current game and it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I think those are all some of the best factions. I think out of those 4 factions that are represented in the top 5, I think that probably 3 of them are top 5 factions, and all of them are in the top 8.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely. If I had to pick the top 5 factions in the game, literally it would be Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings, Warriors of Chaos, and Bretonnia would almost definitely make that cut. I don't know who the 5th would be, and possibly Bretonnia could be knocked out of a top 5, but like you said, they definitely make the top 8 or the top 6. Or which one were you?
I mean, you just add what else to that top 5, Adam, and I think that's pretty.
That's pretty much what I was thinking. Just be adding what else to that, and it's pretty much sorted. Beastman would have been the one. Beastman would be the one I would be like, maybe they take the place of the Bretts or whatnot. But I think that would be that's definitely up for debate. Gentlemen, can you guys read my handwriting? Can you guys read some of my short form? Because I've typed out the top 5 lists.
Your list.
I've actually ran this through Google Translate to translate it from Koala to English. So thank you, Adam.
Yeah. Just know when you read FC, it means fuck off, daddy. Definitely not full command. All right, we're gonna start with James Fink or Fike with the Vampire Counts in 5th place. Now, Dickie, you expressed an interest in Vampire Counts, so if you'd like to read this one out, go for it, mate.
Okay, we got a Master Necromancer, only written down as Necro, just for everyone. Level 4, he's on a Mortis engine, spell familiar. He's got the Scepter of D. Narot and the Crown of the Damned Necromancy. I have no idea what any of those does. Can anyone help me out?
Sure. I'm gonna look some of these.
I
things
know what
up,
they do off the top of my head.
Oh, wow! Rip it, mate.
Spell familiar gives him +1 spell, so he's rocking 5 spells. Scepter in a row is increases his ability to raise. In fact, it lets him do it a second time.
Oh,
and then Crown of the Damned, and then you'll roll a dice, and on a 1 it stops working. And then Crown of the Dam gives a 4+ ward
4
save, but
ward.
also makes you subject to stupidity.
Okay.
It's very good kit.
Yeah, that is the kit, I would say.
The
If you're
primo,
going to
yes.
take one Master Necro on a Mortis
Correct.
engine, that's
This is the guy. Okay, we'll call him Fred. Okay, so we have a Necromancer. He's a level 2. He's also on a Mortis engine. I'm noticing a trend here. And he's got a lore familiar. He's got dark magic. We have 2 Tomb Banshees, a White Lord with BSB, 16 Ghouls with Champ, 27 Graveguard. We have so the Graveguard has the Drakenhof banner, and I guess the champion has the armor of meteoric iron.
Yeah.
We have 21 20 zombies. That's a lot of dead bros. We have a corpse cart, level 1 necromancy. We have 8 blood knights with the champ standard supernatural horror and war banner, and 6 hex wraiths.
What is he's put a lot of kit on his champions. So he's got meteoric iron on his Graveguard champ. Of course, these are and in every other faction, these are things that like, oh, if they get challenged out and dead, there goes the points. But you just keep bringing that idiot back, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you do all this kit.
100%. And that just is like what a challenge soaker that guy is.
I know.
Because he gets a 3-up armor, right?
Correct. What a jerk.
He's like a 3-up with a 5-up regen.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes he has a 6-up ward save.
Yep. And the Blood Knight one, the Supernatural Horror, is just giving the unit terror, which I like very much on the Blood Knight.
He has 6 terror causers in this list.
Yes. He just, dude, if this army ever gets stuck into you and like challenges out your general or screams out and gets a BSB or something like that, your army's just going to start legging it. It's actually a huge problem. The Dragonhof banner, which is carried on the Blood Knights as well. If your unit carrying Dragonhof banner has regeneration X, it improves its regeneration by 1. That one can go straight to hell. I hate it so much. It's very good.
I do have a quote. What does the Mortis engine do these days?
Oh man.
Did I open a can of worms?
It's very good.
What doesn't it do? Oh
Yeah.
boy. Take it away, Danny.
Most importantly, Dickie, and this is the key takeaway, it screams, number 1. And number 2, it gives you a +2 bonus to cast.
Okay.
So, or is it +2 or is it +1? But it stacks. Don't remember. So both, if you're in range of both Mortis engines, you're like either +2 or +4. I just don't remember. I feel embarrassed that I don't remember that off the top of my head. But it's been a minute since I've actually looked at the vampire rules.
I'm looking at it right now. What do you need to know? +1 modifier to movement and initiative. All friendly wizards, all wizard friend or foe may apply a +1 modifier to any casting rolls while within its command range. However, any wizard miscast apply the model's command range. They must roll twice on the miscast table and apply both results.
Yeah, and so since it's on a Mortis engine and this guy is his general, that gives him an 18-inch aura.
Yeah,
because he's on a large target.
And it's a fly 8 large target caster. Yeah. It's so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Also, I love the addition of the corpse cart. I don't always see the corpse cart, but I do like the addition of the corpse cart here, reducing the number of models that die to instability on the zombies, and also because he had the warped Titanabinium, that one. Tintin Bubulation, that one. Whilst friendly units within 15 of this model recovers any wounds, do the invocation in the heck, roll a d6 on a 4+ to recover an additional wound. And additionally, friendly units within 15 of this model reduce the number of wounds lost due to instability by 1. So it keeps your zombies in the game longer, doubles down, and means when you resurrect more. And I think it's really good for when times get tough. I think the corpse card can bail you out. I like it.
Also, he's effectively just a level 3 caster when he's around the Mortis engine.
Correct. It's that this army gets around the level 3, the cap of a single level 3, because the level 4 cast is level 6, the level 2 cast is level 4, and the level 1 cast is level 3. So it's kind of kind of a bit busted.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the fact that he forked out so much extra like bling on unit champions and then just like legit neglected the hell out of his White Lord. White Lord's just like, do not care, mate. Congrats on your shield.
And he's going with the Blood Knights, I assume, right? Can he go?
I believe he's in the grave. I believe he's in the grave guard. I think he's on foot.
Or just
Oh no, he
No.
is. Yeah, it's not on horse. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, let me double check. I didn't miss
No.
any war gear on that guy. Hand weapon,
Knights
heavy
don't
armor,
need
battle
help.
standard.
Yeah.
he's critically important to this list.
I know, and he's the easiest thing to kill on the list, pretty much.
So because he gives you rerolls on leadership tests, of course, for your res. That's really important for this army specifically because the Master Necro is going to be doing it twice, and the Necromantic Acolyte's also going to be doing it once. And their leadership is like 8 and 7. So getting the reroll is so important to making sure your stuff actually works.
Indeed. But all right, really good list by James. Like, I think this is exceptionally good. When vampires go to 2,500, I think they just get so much more money. Wait, sorry. Actually, the only thing I want to talk about, 6 hex wraiths. Are those James's special spice, or is there more to that unit that I haven't noticed yet?
I mean, they're okay.
Yeah, that's
unit of ethereal, right? And that's good.
Yeah, unit of ethereal like have. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah, fly 8 magical attacks, open order, 6 up regen, spectral reapers, swift stride, and terror. But pretty much they're just like, I think they're just a stopper. I don't really. Yeah, they do. They do the little flyover strength 4 hits.
It's like a unit that you can charge into the flank of something else and like not worry about them actually taking wounds from like attacks.
Yeah, it's fair. They're just the first time I've seen them taken, and was curious.
Well, yeah, why would you take them when you can just take more Blood Knights?
Yeah, baby. All right, we're going to go up to the next one, which is Andrew Bui. B-U-I is the surname. Bui. Warriors of Chaos. Got a Chaos Lord, General, Barded Chaos Steed, Heavy Armor, Shield, Ogre Blade, Extra Arm, 2 Favors of the Dark Gods, a Paymaster's Coin, and the Mark of Nurgle. We have a Exalted Champion BSB with Heavy Armor, Shield, Lance, a Demonic Mount, Rampaging Banner, Enchanting Aura, a single Favor of the Dark Gods, Crown of Conquest, and the Mark of Chaos Undivided. Then he has a Sorcerer level 4, also with Heavy Armor, also on a Barded Steed, Law Familiar, the Biting Blade, and single Favor, Diabolic Splendor, Mark of Nurgle, and Demonology. 3 units of minimum Chaos Knights with full command, Heavy Armor, Shield, Lancers, Mark of Nurgle. 5 Warhounds with Vanguard. 2x5 Marauder Horsemen with Champ and Mark of Chaos Undivided. We have 10 Chosen Chaos Knights. Like we said, Heavy Cav, going to feature the full unit at 10 with Drilled, Lancers, full plate, full command, Brazen Collar, and the Blaster Standard. And then 4 Dragon Ogres with Champ and Great Weapons. And then 2 Dragon Ogres with Champ, Great Weapons, Blackened Plate, and Uncanny Senses on the champion there. So that champion is decked out to pretty much be another hero level character, which I think is really sick. But boys, what do you make of that list?
That's hard. It's a hard list.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. The Chosen Knights are horrible. Like, good luck. That's going to be real annoying. Do they have a Mark of Chaos?
On the Chosen. I'll have to double check for you. If they did, I didn't write it down, but I'll pull it up right now.
So what the thing I am interested in the reasoning, like I guess I kind of know what the example here would be the Chaos Knights with Mark of Nurgle.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have very much chaff, so I guess he's worried about getting frenzy baited. That would be my assumption, but
they do not have a
just
listed
rather have Khorne. Like Khorne just does so much more work.
Yeah. They don't have a listed mark on their army list.
But the Brazen Collar Blasted Standard is a dope combination. That's really good.
What do they do?
So Brazen Collar, that's magic resistance 2.
Oh, love it. So illusion just get out of here.
Yeah. And then what is the Blasted Standard? Here, I've got it open.
I'm looking at it right now. A unit carrying the Blasted Standard may reroll any rolls of natural 1 when making Arva saving rolls against wounds suffered in the shooting phase.
Yeah, that's
so they got a 2 up rerolling 1s against shooting.
And then a 6 up board 2.
And a 6 up board, yeah. That's pretty dope. What is the Enchanting Aura? I haven't seen that in a while.
Enchanting Aura, that's the thing that makes you strike last? Yeah.
It makes you cannot use strike first if your opponent has it in combat with this character. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have strike first, they have strikes last. Oh yeah, you're right. You're actually right. That is sick.
That's so good, man.
So good. But outside that, this just looks like a very, very, very good Warriors of Chaos list, right? I am going to take a moment to unpack for everybody the Dragon Ogre. All right, so he's got the blackened plate on his Shartak. Anybody know what that does off the cuff?
Yeah, it's full plate, and then you get a 3-up ward against flaming attacks.
But
and
full plate is obviously very good.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other one being the Uncanny Senses?
+1 initiative.
Beautiful. So yeah,
So
+1
is-
initiative.
Initiative 5 with his great weapon on the charge.
And it's 105 points for the unit. You have to take one regular Dragon Ogre, which is 63 points, and then the extra 42 for the Shartak. But that guy is like movement 7, weapon skill 4, strength 5, toughness 4. So strength 7 with 4 wounds. Like initiative 2 goes initiative 5 on the charge. 4 attacks, leadership 8. That guy's better than any character I can build in Empire.
He's so good. Yeah.
He's literally better than anything apart from like a Grandmaster on a Griffin. He's literally better than anything, any melee character I can build in Empire. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because he's a 2-up armor too. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have scaling. They have armored hide too. Yeah, and they have stomp attacks.
Each one has 2. It's that unit.
Yeah, that's so good. That is such a good little tech piece. I love that as a little. Well, because the other Dragon Ogre is just like 4 ablative wounds for this guy, which, funnily enough, another way to get around a 7 wound cap.
Oh yeah,
you've pretty much got a unit of 8 wounds, and one of them's just 4 extra wounds for the guy you're trying to deliver. I think that's really cute. Very clever, mate.
Just a backup dancer.
Yeah, just doing jazz hands in the back. All right. Who wants to read out Abe's? You haven't done one yet, Danny, but I was saving you for the Tomb Kings. But you can go back to back. You can do Abe's Bretonians.
Oh,
This is the
okay.
Exiles, baby.
Is this exist somewhere?
Okay, never mind. I'm doing it. So this is Bretonian Exiles. This is the one I didn't put up in the notes for these boys who need to be spoon-fed everything at all times.
True.
Right.
This is the first off, he's got a Baron, Heavy Armor Shield Lance, Royal Peg with Barding, of course. The Exile's Vow, 2 Lucky Heirlooms, and the Virtue of Heroism. Then we have a second Baron. This one, Heavy Armor Shield, Royal Peg as well, same Barding. Exile's Vow. In addition, this is the General, Frontier Axe, which is sick. Virtue of Knightly Temper. We have a level 2 Damsel with Battle Magic, Bretonian Warhorse. An Outcast Wizard, which is a level 3 with Dark Magic, Ruby Ring on a Warhorse. A Paladin, who I'm assuming is BSB. Yep. Heavy Armor, Shield, Lance, Royal Peg, Barding, Exile's Vow, Battle Standard Bearer with a Rampaging Banner, and Falcon Horn of Ferdinand. Then we have Knights of the Realm. We have 12 Knights of the Realm with full command. That's a lot. Then we have 10 Knights of the Realm with full command.
Wow.
And then we have 12 Peasant Bowmen. So 2 huge lances. We have 2 units of Peg Knights. Looks like one is 6, one is 5. No, they're both 6s. One with the banner of Challenge and one of the banner of the Zealous Knight. I'm hoping you are getting your Arcane Journal ready, Dickie, because I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions about what any of this stuff does.
Yeah,
then,
I'm gonna have like 50% of it good in my head, and then the rest we're gonna make up. It's gonna be awesome.
Beautiful. It's going to be great. And then lastly, here's the spice. Because ostensibly, this is an army of like 4 fat units, like 2 big units of knights, 2 big units of pegs, and then 2 units of Border Prince's brigands with scouts and skirmishes. So good. Blunderbusses out the wazoo.
Yeah, they do.
2x10.
Oh man, I love this guy.
I love this list. This list is so sick. I feel like I would want
really
to
close to what you guys built me originally in like episode 2 or something when we built a list and it had kind of all these awesome tools in it.
I do feel like
with Virtue of Heroism is so because the Lucky Heirloom lets you re-roll to hit or to roll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
which one's the Virtue of Heroism?
Dragon to die.
So it's killing them, heroic blow. Yeah.
Monster Slayer.
Monster
That is
Slayer.
sick. The other one is my favorite one though. Knightly Temper, Frontier's Axe, Exile's Vow. Chef's Kiss. Love that guy.
He pumps. Yeah, that guy just does so much work. Yeah.
He's your can opener. It's so sick. I feel like I would want to split up one of these units of big knights I feel like just 112, 110. I would rather 2 6s and 110, I think, personally. The points would get weird with the full command, a second time, but you'd probably try and scrape something together. 1 unit of peasant bowman. This is a list without chaff. Like there ain't no chaff in
that's
this.
what I was thinking too, Adam.
Yeah. Where would you get some in, Danny, if you wanted to? Because obviously this did very well. This came in third.
Yeah, no, it did good. I would do the same thing that you did and break up one of the knight units. Even taking your units of knights, I think are good because you can still flee with Exile's Vow and not suffer any penalties.
That's true.
That's
Or
right.
you could swap out like one of the units for a bunch of. You get a bunch of chaff for those points, like probably 3 or 4 units.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say downgrade if you wanted to downgrade the 12 to a 6, and then use those points, 6 knights worth of points, to just go ham with all sorts. Do they get mounted yeomen in Exiles?
You can. Yeah, actually, you can get 2 flavors of them. You can have like elite guys. They're quite expensive. Right. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you couldn't have the normal guys. Dude.
Like squires are an awesome choice. Like
squires are really
scouting archer unit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be sick. I like this list. Man, this list seems like so much fun.
Yeah.
It seems a little wild that he's managed to get, with the restrictions, this list still managed to get like 3 pretty brutal like peg characters.
Yeah.
That any one of them could play by themselves and be a huge headache to the opponent, or be, massed into the peg units and turn them into not quite Death Stars, but there's only a couple of lists in the game that can handle those units of pegs. What's the Banner of Chalons do there?
The Banner of, can you say it again? Say it, but like
Chalons.
not Australian. It's challenge.
Chalons.
I have a feeling that increases possible charge range or something to that effect.
That sounds good enough. And the other one is the Banner of the Zealous Knight.
It makes you impetuous, I believe, but I think it also, I think it gives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Can you imagine Pegasus Knights with Vanguard? Oh, I can. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's the freaking worst.
Also, so the brigands with the blunderbusses, did he opt for the scout and
scout and skirmish? One of them has ambush, one of them has scout.
It's so dirty. So those guys can really, so you guys are talking about chaff, so those guys can kind of get up and deep and be really annoying. So I'm wondering if he just used one of those brigand units to do that. And of course, remember blunderbusses, their kind of ability is they get to stand and shoot without any penalty. So they get to fire away.
Yeah, I always think of them as so many times your chaff unit is a shoot once and forget, like you move it up, shoot it, and then it dies. And Border Prince is just like shoot twice and forget. And it seems it's just a lot better.
Yeah.
And they're not that expensive. Like the more expensive squad with ambush is still only 127 points. But they're 10 blunderbusses.
They're just Empire bros with fancy guns. Yeah.
All right.
Empire wishes they got a unit of skirmish and blunderbusses.
Dude, don't. I look at this list of, I'm like, man, their knights are so good. Only inner circle knights are as good as their mounted knights, and their knights are cheaper. Peg knights, we ain't got nothing that feels like peg knights. And the brigands are like, lol, I get a crossbow and gets a blunderbuss. Anyway, tell us about their second placed Tim and the Mortuary Cults, Danny.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So Tim Bukowski, I think. Yeah, anyway. He's running Mortuary Cult, which, you should be. You're going to be playing the tournament. His general is a level 4 high priest, like you have to, with the warding splint. So he's got a 5-up ward save along with 5-up armor save. Lore familiar, so he picks his spells and necromancy. Then he has another Lich Priest, level 2, Ruby Ring with illusion, another level 2 illusion priest, and finally another level 2 priest, Battle Standard Bearer with necromancy. Heck yeah, that seems pretty good to me.
Feels like a light council, but not.
Yeah, exactly. That's so accurate, Adam. Like you expect a banishment to fly out of there at any minute.
You do.
And then he's got 30 skeleton warriors with spears, light armor, shields with the champion and standard, 15 archers, 8 skirmishers with ambush, 6 Shabti with a champion, 4 Tomb Swarms with ambush, 3 Tomb Scorpions, 2 of them have ambush, 2 Caskets, 2 Necrosphinx, 2 Catapults. And that's why this list is good, because the rare section you can actually take all of the things.
You get it to flesh out. In fact, I think one of the Necrosphinxes isn't in the rare section. I think one of the Necros is in special.
Yeah, but they can do that.
But yeah, this is to me the list. I mean, it is 500 more points than you'd get away with. But also, once again, this list gets around the only, one level 4 by having the 2 caskets and a crap load of level 2s.
Yeah, there's only like a couple of things that I think that I would change with this list that I think are a waste. Like, I think the spears are a waste.
On the Warriors.
On the
what are they
Warriors.
Yeah,
that's like 30 points. I'd rather have a War Banner.
On the Warriors, yeah, that's fair.
Or the +1 weapon skill banner is good too. Potentially. Oh, not in this though, because he doesn't have a prince.
How do you feel about the Ushabti unit? I've seen them here and there, but I don't know how good they are yet.
I'd rather have 2 units of 4. They're actually, I think they're one of the better units. So here's the cool thing about Ushabti is they're a weapon skill 4 monstrous infantry unit that is often -1 to hit.
That's big.
And the combination of weapon skill 4 and -1 to hit makes them good.
Yeah. I do love that. So if I remember correctly on Tim's list, because a lot of people do this when they submit their list in BCP, they'll put a little funny word or what they've called their list. And this is called Cult No Archers. He's got archers. He lied to us. He's got 15 archers. And I love that he's trying to say that like, this list isn't a shooting list because I have no archers, whilst having 2 catapults, 2 caskets, and like infinity like magic. I love it. Good for you, Tim. Hopefully people bought it. And you're like, ha.
The leadership shenanigans with this list are really powerful.
Yeah. Is 2 caskets a problem? Is 2 caskets too good? Like Mortis engines, should we look to like taking away their overlapping goodness?
I mean, like I would say it's in the same category as 2 units of Pegasus Knights.
Yeah.
Or like 2 big units of Pegasus Knights. Because like 2 units of 3 is not, I don't think is a problem, but like 11 Pegasus Knights is a lot of Pegasus Knights.
Well, the other list had 12, right? Yeah, 12 and 3 big characters. So,
but yeah, no, that's really good because so the leadership shenanigans you have a lore familiar with necromancy on level 4. He's going to be plus a billion to cast, and he gets to pick his spells, so he's going to make it so that you don't get to use Inspiring Presence with that big vortex.
Yep.
And then he's going to shoot you with 2 catapults that also make you test when they do a wound, and make you -1 leadership before they do that. Each one does, and those stack. So you can make something that's actually scary, like run away, like more times than you would imagine, than you would think. And you've got Tomb Scorpions that can handle ambush stuff. You've got Tomb Swarms. I don't know if I would buy them ambush though, because like I usually want those around my level 4 so that I can sack them for extra casting.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe break up the Ushabti into 2 units of 4. I think I'd rather have that. That gives me more threat.
Well, it is cool 6. Too. So where would you find the extra points for the 2 extra Ushabti?
Yeah, I'd probably drop ambush on the swarms for some points, and then maybe like a couple of archers.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. That's tough. That's a style call.
Yeah. I freaking love this list. This may be my favorite list out of the ones reviewed, because this one, I don't know. At 2,000 mortuary, when you spend like you're forking out a lot of points for the level 4 and the dragon, you're forking out points for this and that and that. It feels like they can get a bit hollow. Like they're just a couple of big beasties, and with not really much. Unlike vampire counts, you get to have like 60 skeletons and a bunch of nonsense, and still a very deadly like infantry brick, and then a stupidly good heavy cavalry brick, all regenerating. It feels like Tomb Kings doesn't get to have it all, but I feel like this list at 2,500 gets to have it all. In fact, I think it's likely it has 1 more level 2 than it needs.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's just styling and profiling on people. Like, lol.
I like this list will often have reserve move on all these units too, which is great for undead. Yep. And Necrosphinxes are so good in this. Well, I mean, they're good in this list. I wish he had the Taskmaster to give him +1 weekend save. That might be a good swap for a priest.
Fair. All right, let us talk about the list that finished first. Take it away, Dickie.
We got Luna Valentine playing Bretonians. A Duke, which is the general, on Barded Hippogriff. Let me just stop and say that again. Barded Hippogriff. Maybe the first time ever seen in history. Maybe that's why they won this event, because everyone was like, wait a minute, that's a Barded Hippogriff? There's no way that thing exists. Heavy armor, shield, ogre blade, healing potion, and virtue of knightly temper. That's a combo that we don't often see, right? Ogre blade is +3 strength.
+2.
+2, yeah.
And knightly temper is for any of unsaved wound, you get an additional attack. And the healing potion, I believe, is just a heal D3 or something like that. Interesting.
So knightly temper is that not hatred and +D3 attacks on the turn you charge?
I will tell you momentarily, gents.
Yeah, I don't know.
On my way to it. Which one is it, sorry?
Knightly temper.
During a turn in which it charged, a model with this virtue gains extra attacks D3 and hatred.
Okay, so I was wrong. So the I'm thinking of the other good one.
There is one that does that too.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Danny. We have a Baron. We have Lance, heavy armor, shield, Grail Vow. Wait, guys, stop. Another Barded Hippogriff. This Bretonian army is the only army in Old World with actually 2 hippogriffs in its area. They captured them, put saddles on them, and said, "Go to battle." Wow. Grommel Great Helm, Gauntlet of Duel, and the Virtue of the Ideal. Woo!
That's reroll hit rolls if your weapon skill is lower than your opponent's.
And the Gauntlet of Duel is basically, I call it the challenge duel. You basically go up and they can't refuse your challenge.
So Virtue of the Ideal has a +1 modifier to weapon skill, initiative, and attacks and leadership. However, this character cannot be your army's general or join a friendly unit. So it's got to rock out, which is why, a hippogriff makes
better.
sense. Can't join anything anyway.
Yeah. And Grommel
that
Great
makes
Helm
them a double Duke, basically, right?
Yeah.
Double Ds again.
On Hippogriff. Amazing. And Grommel Great Helm's +1 strength, then is it reroll failed something?
+1 armor save and reroll.
Yeah, +1 armor save. Yeah, and reroll ones.
Nice. Man, we're learning so much.
We are.
Well, I'm learning that I have no idea about Bretonian armies actually right now. So that's great. So we have a Paladin, BSB on Royal Pegasus, heavy armor, shield, lance, falcon horn. So that's the no-fly horn. We have 3x10 peasant bowmen with standard, 29 men-at-arms with full command, 2x6 knights of the realm with full command, a 5 and a 6 peg knight with full command, banner of honorable warfare and the war banner, 5 scouts, and 10 pilgrims with the reliquary.
Nice.
Nice indeed. Wow.
So 1 less peg than the third placing list. And he's got, instead of having the big Knights of the Realm, it's a 2x6, but also has 29 men at arms. Is there any reason this should be regular Bretonians and not one of the Arcane Journal lists?
God, would this be better as an errantry war list?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Can errantry take hippogriffs? Maybe? Yes.
Yeah.
Can they? Is there any can they take the men at arms and all the peasants?
Well, you'd have to take some knights errant because you have to take at least one. I think you have to take like 1 unit per 1,000 points. So you'd have to take 2 units of knight errant.
Wait a second.
The battle pilgrims as core.
So wait a second. It may be that it is, and it is not listed as such on the list because one of the magic standards taken is Banner of Honorable Warfare.
Oh,
and it's not in the regular Brett's book, so they just haven't listed the fact that they're Errantry Crusade. Luna, get your shit together. You're making my life harder.
Well, it can't be Errantry Crusade. It's illegal.
Okay.
Well, Honorable Warfare though is it's not tied to Errantry.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, so some of the items you can use in either or.
Oh, that's true. Apologies.
Okay, yeah. So this is just a natural Bretonnian list.
Congratulations, Luna. You got your shit together.
You avoided that very closely, my friend.
Yeah, well done.
Obviously know what they're doing.
Yeah, man.
10 pilgrims,
Wow.
10 pilgrims with the reliquary. What's going on there, guys?
I don't know.
Got to stop someone for one turn.
Just
Exactly
one
one
turn of
turn.
stopping.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's I call it the M&M. One chance, one opportunity.
Yeah. Just please stand here so my knights can charge you next turn. Please.
Cease your movement. This is the previous Bretonian list with hippogriffs instead of pegs and chaff. It actually has chaff.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I wanted to look up what a hippogriff did.
I don't think anything.
I've been looking at it. I've been looking at it.
It's not good.
For 120 points, yes. No, it is not good. But Luna made it look extremely good. What's your opinion?
When you have
Danny?
no other options,
Right.
I guess this is.
So it gives you 4 strength, 5 attacks at -2 AP and weapon skill 5. That's cool. And it makes these guys 6 wounds and 7 wounds respectively for the Baron and Duke. They get D3 stomps, but they are a monstrous creature and not a behemoth. So they don't get any AP on those. Nope. And then you get 1 multiple wound attack. God, this is like, here's the reason. They have countercharge.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. For 120 points, though. How much is it to just put them on a peg? 55? Or
Sure. But pegs already have countercharge. Now you have 4 countercharge units.
That's true.
I get this is more vulnerable, but as we've seen, people aren't taking a shit ton of cannons, I feel like, yet.
That is a really good choice because you are the only ward save on these Blighted Hippogriffs is your prayer, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they're rolling and they don't none of them have regen save. It's just a good armor save into likely a 5-up ward, right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
I mean, it's not awful, but I mean, compared to other characters, these ones are really possibly perfectly walking the line of points to, comp to deadliness.
Yeah,
both of these absolutely slap.
Yeah, they're good, right? And they're good enough.
For sure they are.
I'm impressed by this list a lot. This must have taken some good generalship to win with too.
For sure. Still 2 units of pegs, still 2 medium-sized units of knights and 2x6. 29 men-at-arms to essentially just kind of get in the way and soak. 5 scouts to also do the same thing. 3 units of peasant bowmen. And then, 2 kitted for bear flying characters. One, I guess the reason there's a 5 and a 6 peg knight is because they're both going to be 2x6 when the paladin joins one of them.
Yeah.
I love the falcon horn I love that both of the top Bretonian lists had the falcon horn because they are both like, man, that mirror match is going to come up.
Yeah.
My peg knights fly, do yours.
I mean, also, it does make, in the dragon matchup, it makes it so that your whole army is faster than the dragon pretty much, which is pretty good.
You can get the jump, yeah.
You get the jump, you get the charges. Especially big when you're going to need that into the elf dragons and into the warriors of chaos dragons. Sometimes you do need that initiative hugely.
For sure.
Well, that brings us to the end of the analysis, gentlemen, of this event. And hopefully you please give us a lot of feedback on this format because we might make this anytime we get a 50+ player event all over the world, you might give you guys a snapshot of that meta, what did well, what didn't do well, under what terms, what comp restrictions, et cetera. We would love to keep doing these episodes. I think they're a lot of fun for us. We get to learn a lot. There's still a huge amount of stuff we looked up during this episode, and hopefully you guys learned along also, and they weren't just screaming at your earbuds, phone, etc. But if this was good, if you liked this, please let us know. We're going to go over and record part 2, where, of course, that'll be just for our patrons over on That Old World Charm and Patreon. And hopefully you'll join us over there. Gentlemen, anything you'd like to say before we check out?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Does someone have to say the weird bye-bye thing that Peter does? Or is that like only Peter?
I've just been kissing it.
You've been listening to That Old World Charm with those charming chaps, Adam, Danny, and Peter the Falcon. Thanks ever so much. Cheerio.